Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed already. I really couldn't do this without you. Now, I have to say, I've got an interesting video for you today, and it is to do with Doctor Who. I will eventually get around to these RTD quotes, but so many things recently have dropped like little tidbits that I would actually want to really look at. So this one was all to do with the episode of Rogue, and this was an article that was released via Deadline a couple of days ago. At the time of recording, it was a couple of days ago. It's probably more than that now because it is Wednesday and it's Woke Wednesday. BBC throws out complaints about Bridgerton-inspired Doctor Who episode featuring gay kiss. The BBC has dismissed viewer complaints about an episode of Doctor Who featuring an historic gay kiss between Ncuti Gatwa and Jonathan Groff. Now, I'm going to say that it's not really historic. This is not the first time there has been a same-sex kiss on screen in Doctor Who, but I guess it's historic in the sense that it was a romantic one, even though it wasn't that believable because of such fast-paced episode. Two disgruntled audience members took issue with an inappropriate innuendo that developed between Gatwa's Time Lord and Gross bounty hunter rogue in a Bridgerton-inspired story. The viewers said the season 14 episode titled Rogue featured content that was unsuitable for children. One person added that the speed of the Doctor and Rose connection was concerning. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you where I stand with this. No hanky-panky in the TARDIS to do with the Doctor. That's where I stand on it, and I've always stood on that ever since I've been watching Doctor Who from, and that's from a child onwards. I just don't associate it with the Doctor at all. When it came back and it was more soapy, I had a feeling I knew where it was going, and they did that with Rose. Still didn't like it. Didn't like any of the kisses for, non-romantic reasons either. Maybe I'm just a prude, okay? But that was me. That was my personal stance on it. The speed of the romantic development in Rogue, in my opinion, was actually very fast. I mean, how fast do relationships like that normally develop? Now, I will say that I actually think that the episode was full of innuendo. It really was. And, well, I'll get to what the BBC says in a minute. Let's just carry on with the article first. The BBC's Executive Complaints Unit, the ECU, threw out the concerns. In a ruling on Thursday, the unit said that the innuendo was mild and suitable for Doctor Who's young audience. Now, first of all, what do you think of that? I'll get to what I think of that in a moment. The Doctor Who episode set in the British Regency period of 1813 and first broadcast on June 8th made history after featuring the first ever explicitly romantic same-sex kiss on screen. Mischievously flirting throughout the episode, shocking the other guests at the Regency Ball with same-sex dancing, their united effort finally saw Rogue sacrifice himself to save the world, but not before he had given the Doctor a kiss goodbye. John Barrowman's Captain Jack briefly kissed Eccleston's Doctor in 2005, but that encounter lacked sexual charge of the Time Lord's encounter with Rogue, and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor had implied romantic connection with her female companion Yaz, but their feelings were left implicit with the odd yearning glance. Now, I'm going to say this, that was only because they were doing fan service for that one. There had been no implications of it up until that point, where it just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. There have been same-sex kisses between different supporting characters in the series, but this new episode marks the first time the Doctor has been portrayed as being sexually interested in someone of the same gender and acting on it. So I went and trawled through the BBC ECU area, and this is linked below so you can go and have a look at it for yourself. So the complaint was two viewers, and this was made on the 18th of July, had complained that this episode includes sexualized content and suitable for children in the audience. The relationship between the Doctor and the character Rogue was presented with an inappropriate sexual innuendo and developed at a speed which he thought concerning. The ECU considered the complaint in the light of the BBC's editorial standards of harm and offence. The ECU considered, this is the outcome, the innuendo to be towards the mildest end of the spectrum and in any case likely to go over the heads of children, while the development of the relationship served the needs of the fast-moving plot, which I don't believe it did, it really didn't, and was unlikely to strike viewers of any age as a model for interpersonal relationships outside this particular fictional context. So the BBC decided not to uphold this complaint. Now then, what are the ages of the children that would actually watch Doctor Who? Maybe I would have been about 7 at the time when I first watched Doctor Who, so somewhere probably between the ages of 6 upwards, maybe I would say. Now, I'm going to say this, my niece is 6, and at the age of 6, maybe 2 men kissing on screen, probably she wouldn't bat an eyelid because adults kiss adults all the time, but she will question, "What does that mean? What does that mean? Why is he saying that? Why is he saying that? What does that mean? I don't understand. What does that mean?" It will be constant question after question after question. And yes, in most regards, the innuendos will go over children's heads because obviously that is aimed at adults. Now, when you look at children's content, family show content, generally the innuendo is like very low mild to like negligible in most respects. And I've found that over the years with Doctor Who, it has become more and more and more with the innuendo being put into it and therefore becoming targeted to more towards a more older audience. I wouldn't show this episode to my niece. And that's not because of the 2 men kissing on screen. It's because of, well, mine's bigger than yours. And all of these remarks that actually, theoretically, children would start to actually question. Now, I would actually like to see the Doctor actually taking on the aliens and doing his job as the Doctor, much like we do with Classic, and we get that with Classic, but it didn't happen in this episode. And if I really wanted to show my niece anything with innuendo, not that I would, right? Just putting it out there. But if, like, retrospectively that would be the case, I would actually point her in a direction of perhaps something like Are You Being Served by David Croft, which was like nowhere near appropriate for her at her age of 6. Nowhere near. If any of my subscribers or anyone who watches Doctor Who have children, would you show this episode to your children? Okay. Now, I'm also going to say this, BBC don't actually uphold many of their complaints. I trawled through pages and pages of their complaints that is listed on this website. This link below, go and check it out for yourself. The majority of them are not upheld. I found one which was upheld, but that was because there was a factual inaccuracy made by a weather reporter. And that's obviously not to do with the actual weather report that he was making, but it was also to do with the weather report that this presenter was making. It was just the wrong factual comparison, I believe. So they had to uphold it because it was incorrect. So I actually think that Doctor Who is starting to gradually move away from from young children to perhaps maybe 13 plus. It really does feel like it's getting that. But let me know what you think. Remember to chat about it. Don't shout about it. Like the video if you would like to like the video. I'll be back tomorrow for Keep It Positive at 4 p.m. Head on over to my community page. I have a post up there that's asking you, my subscribers, my viewers, what you would like to see in the 3 weeks that I'm away. So please leave a comment on that. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Bye-bye.